Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dalrin, and in today's video I just want to showcase you guys the one-shot opener for combat rogues that literally scores me and Tyrga the kills. Rogue damage combined with either mage damage, hunter damage, or boomkin damage can literally one-shot anybody. And this can also work with a death knight, with a warlock, anything that's really bursty. So in this video I just want to showcase you guys realistic arena situations and how I use this opener. And I just want to show you some of the things like how to make sure that after your first kidney you pop in a cheap shot right in between to time a second kidney, when to vanish, and how to alternate your openers in case things go bad, as well as the basics of how to get the opener down so you make sure you get the one shot. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video. I'm going to slow down the footage and speak over it, and let's get on to it. The first matchup is a Restoration Druid and Enhancement Shaman. We're simply going to ignore the enhance here since they can't really peel for the druid, and we're going to go on druid all the way. The burst comes out with Adrenaline Rush, Onya's Trinket, the Shadow Reflection, everything. I'm spamming out and get the full slice and dice onto myself. Then I vanish about here to eviscerate cheap shot, and I'm waiting out for my Subterfuge to fall off. Right before Subterfuge fades, I get a garrote onto the druid, so even after he gets out of the kidneys, he's not going to be able to do much. He tried to trinket a cheap shot, but the garrote still keeps him silenced, and then another kidney comes out to lock him down for a little bit further. Right after the kidney is out, Tyrga solar beams the druid, and he had an Ursul's Vortex on him to make sure that he can't run anywhere. So that was the way that we basically burst on druids without having to use a killing spree. As a reminder, I wouldn't recommend anybody to use a killing spree if you're going for that really bursty opener, because killing spree is still too slow. It is a hard hitting spell, but it still takes about 3 global cooldowns to dish out its full maximum damage. So I feel like it's better to just prep, vanish, and get that 40k eviscerate. This next video footage is against a Disc Priest Enhancement Shaman, and we're going to do the same thing to the Disc Priest, Shadow Reflection mark for that kidney, Adrenaline Rush, Onya's Trinket, and just start pumping out damage. He decides not to trinket the first kidney, and usually when they don't trinket the very first stun, that means they're going to sit through it. So I just take a full advantage here to make sure to line up my vanish, eviscerate, cheap shot right as the kidney ends, and make sure to garrote out of it in the end to make sure that the priest is locked down for even more. I use Cloak in order to make sure if the priest does trinket at this point that he cannot fear me, and I gouge him as he sits in Soul Beam just for a few extra seconds just to keep him locked down for a bit more. I vanish again, trying to get another eviscerate off of him in case we don't finish right here. That's basically how we burst priests. This next footage is a bit tough. The Resto Shaman here actually trinkets and stops our burst completely and jumps down where my Shadow Reflection bugs out, and sometimes these kind of things will happen in arenas. I decided to go get a sap onto the monk, and then I'm going to start training the shaman as soon as I can. The shaman does trinket. So what the trinket does, he basically stops our whole opener and stops the full duration of the first kidney, so he's able to free cast. He uses that time in order to score himself a link. So I take the time to take out the link, while Tyrga is going to take the time to keep pelting the shaman with as much damage as possible. The shaman also jumps down, and I'm afraid here that my Shadow Reflection will bug out, so when I vanish I actually cheap shot first before eviscerate. Normally you want to vanish and eviscerate in order to make sure you use up all your comp points and then you generate extra with cheap shot. But I had to slow him down as he's falling down, knowing that my Shadow Reflection most likely will bug out and not work properly. In this kind of events, you kind of got to take an executive decision, and I followed that cheap shot with an eviscerate into a garrote to make sure the shaman is locked down since he can't trinket anything anymore. Tyrga is then able to connect again and throws down a solar beam onto the shaman to make sure the shaman can't dish out any more healing spells or throw down any other totems, and of course stop the next link that could have saved him. Basically, in an opener, what you're trying to do is combine as much CC as possible while having a lot of sustained damage rather than burst damage coming out of together. In the beginning, the enemy might feel comfortable with the idea that, oh, I'm not going to get bursted here, I can probably save my trinket and save some of my coolies, and chances are I won't die. But the damage kind of ramps up really quickly onto the target as you get your bleeds rolling, you get your auto attacks rolling, mastery hits, and then of course the extra crit damage from either the mage, boomkin, or the hunter, whoever you're rolling with. And basically it either forces cooldowns or forces the enemy to die. There's two options, and if once you force the cooldowns, you can play around, reset, and kill them again, which is always a lot of fun. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and hopefully you see kind of how I use Shadow Reflection in my openers and just how much you can commit into it if you want to, how heavy you can go into it, and you'll get a different feel whether you know that you can score a kill or whether you'll have to get a reset, and that depends on different comps you play and different players you play against, and whether they know your strategy or whether they're oblivious to what kind of strategy you might be coming up with. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Shadow Affliction is a lot of fun to play on a combat rogue. My name is Dalaran, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the one-shots. I'll see you guys in the next video.